Hey guys, my name is Donnie and welcome back to another episode of building a Jaguar out of aluminium. And guys, in this episode I'm gonna be attempting to put some louvers into this bonnet. And it is something that I've been procrastinating on for the longest time, and the reason for that is because I can easily ruin a perfectly good bonnet. But it needs to be done eventually, and now is as good a time as ever. So let me show you where they need to go and how I plan on getting them there. Okay guys, so this is the bonnet and I need to put a set or a couple of louvers over here and over there on this bonnet. And until very recently there was only one way that I could think of to put louvers in here, and that is by using a louver punch. And it is something that I actually happen to have because I did make a louver punch many years ago when I built the Bugatti, and this is what it looks like now. So I made a shape or a dolly on this side and on the bottom, and you just put your part in there and you hit it with a hammer and you got yourself a nice louver. Now obviously guys, as you can see, this has been laying outside for many years and it is not pretty anymore. And the other thing is that these louver dies that I made is much narrower than what I want for the Jaguar's bonnet. So I could theoretically make a new louver punch with a new set of dollies and then start punching the louvers into this bonnet. But then another option came my way, and that is in the form of these aluminium pre-cut louvers that I got a hold of online. Now guys, this is made from the same thickness of aluminium as the rest of the car, and I gandered at the idea of cutting a square into this bonnet and putting these aluminium louvers in there and welding everything into position and having myself a set of absolutely perfect louvers. Now obviously the risk to this guys is that I'm going to be cutting a square into this bonnet on both sides, and if I start blowing holes or stretching the aluminium or ruining it, I'm going to ruin this whole bonnet. So it is a bit risky, but I think this is the option that I'm going to use, because then I will know that these louvers are perfectly lined up and square, and I can put as many of them in line as I want to get the bonnet to look perfect. So no pressure. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove this bonnet, put it on a steady place like the table, and then I'm going to start measuring out where I'm going to be cutting the square holes for these louvers, and then start fitting them very carefully, and then I'm going to start tacking them into position, and hopefully the results will be good and I won't ruin this bonnet. So wish me luck, let's see how it goes. I really hope I won't have to change the thumbnail of this video to how to ruin a perfectly good bonnet. Anyways guys, now that the bonnet is off, I can start marking where I want to cut the holes for these louvers, and just cut the holes out with my jigsaw and then just make sure that it fits perfectly, and then start tacking the louvers into position, and hopefully everything goes perfectly and swimmingly. Let's go. it looks like my plan might just work. The welds are looking good and there's not too much warpage. I can just planish that out and flatten this piece properly, but it is looking very nice. Now I can just continue on this side and cut out the big hole for the other louvers, start welding them into position, and then we can just start planishing and flattening out everything. Let's go. Alrighty guys, time for an update. I've now finished welding all of these louvers into position, and then as usual I flipped the bonnet over and I just welded the insides to make sure that everything is nice and strong. And guys, I did get some distortion as a result of the heat in the aluminium. I would dare say quite a lot of distortion, but there's nothing that I don't think I'll be able to fix now using my slapper and my hammer and my doily, and just try and finesse everything back into position. And after that, then I can just address the welds and sand them down a little bit, and we'll see what the bonnet looks like. Let's go. Nice. Beautiful guys, there we go. Bonnet is back on the car, only now it's a little bit better than what it was when I took it off the first time. So guys, I'm very happy with the results of these louvers, but I have to tell you that in retrospect I think it might have been a little bit easier for me to just as well have made a louver punch and punched these louvers in, because welding all of this into place and finishing it off and working against the distortion of the aluminium did take a lot of time. Maybe it would have been easier to just punch them into the existing bonnet. But now that it's done, it is looking good and it's exactly what I want it to be. And I'm very, very happy with the results. As far as the welding is concerned, guys, I have now become far more familiar with welding thin gauge aluminium. So I can confirm that if you do it multiple times, you're going to get a little bit better at doing it, because I think that my welds now are a little bit better than what it was when I started off. Another piece of advice that I can give you guys, and I've read that and I've seen it on many YouTube creators videos and so on, is that preparing your surface is of the utmost importance. It needs to be perfectly clean and your tungsten bit needs to be nice and sharp. That is very important. Getting everything prepared makes for a good weld. Also, when finishing off those welds, I have found that using an old cutting disc works much better than a grinding disc or even a non-ferrous flapper disc, to just finish off these welds, just to get those weld lumps finished off, and then we can go over it with a sanding disc or something like that. But any case, guys, that's it for this video. I'm very happy once again with the progress that we've made. And like I said, in the next video we're gonna probably be working on the bulkheads, and then it's gonna be time to prep for paint. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next week. Cheers.